and welcome everybody. I'm Michel Lopez, and I will be talking today about the importance of monitoring LLM apps and models once they are in production, and explain a little bit how we do that on our end. So my name is, again, Michel Lopez. I have been in the industry for quite a while, software, translation, AI, and I started my career with a master's degree in AI and computer science a long time ago. My company is E2F. It was founded in Silicon Valley in 2004, and we started as a translation company, but we quickly evolved to do more AI data services for very large tech companies. Over the years, we've approached different aspects of AI models in the linguistic field, so from speech to NLP services, and now in the last few years, we almost exclusively LLM. And besides that, we still have an activity of app and website localization. As far as LLM data services, we are trying to help our clients for pretty much everything they need from inceptions to production, starting with model training, fine-tuning, where we help them with data sets that they can use to fine-tune, again, their models, whether they build their own or whether they rely on a foundation model. We then, once their model starts to be closer to production, we help them with evaluation services and benchmarking within different models or against competitors' model. And finally, once the app is in production, we help them by monitoring, including 24/7 monitoring for very large conversational models. There's a big challenge in the industry that is quite often overlooked by tech companies that believe that once you have created a model, evaluated it, tested it, and you feel that it's ready for production, you can just, the same way as you do with a software, you can just put that into production, and because you've tested it, well, it's going to work. Unfortunately, this is not quite true. Once a model is in production, it's more similar to a live organism, but it is a software, a piece of software. It evolves. Just because you've tested in different situations doesn't mean that it's going to work for every prompt, every question asked by your user, and that the answer is going to always be correct. So as Andre Ng, one of the father of AI, modern AI, is saying, unfortunately, it's about data. It's not only about the math, the algorithm. And even after deploying a model, human oversight is crucial. So this is what at E2F, what we are specializing on. Not too much the machine part of the oversight or the observability, but the human part of it. So if you look at different aspects of model monitoring once it's in production, there are some criteria that you can just check almost 100% by machine. This is more like hardware, network type parameters that you can use different methods and logging mechanism and alerts to make sure that your machine your model is always stable and working as fast as it should. Then you have some criteria where you need some humans. You can use golden data sets and different techniques to monitor your model by LLM or anything to figure out whether most of those criteria remain within a safe range. But still, you need humans to do a bit, additional analysis, fine-tuning, corrections. And then you have some, criteria that are really difficult to handle by machine only, and that, in our experience, most large language models that are deployed in production need some human oversight, and whether it is by sampling or analyzing of users' thumb downs, or whichever way you decide what needs to be analyzed. But we feel that it's almost impossible to analyze those criteria by machine only, and be relatively sure that you are, again, always in your safety margin. Now, how do we do project model monitoring? So there's a project lifecycle that we think has to be followed. And it starts by defining what you're looking for, what is your goal, what are the guidelines that for the annotation team, give them some example, and then refine. To expect that you can, launch a big team of testers without, spending time to really make sure that you align on what you're looking for, it's unfortunately it doesn't work. First define the project, then pilot it with a very small team, refine your guidelines, show some success, then align, keep aligning, increase the size of the team, start asking the data team to provide you with agile deliveries, no more on a weekly basis, but maybe on a daily basis. And again, keep refining guidelines, keep understanding edge cases, and making sure that those are handled properly by the data team. And then you can scale once you're stable, once everybody know exactly how to annotate this or that edge case. You can start increasing the team, keep doing daily trainings, monitor your metrics, and then again, you can go for daily deliveries or even in some cases hourly deliveries. And then once you're on an ongoing basis, now your model is deployed, you have users hitting your website or your app on a daily basis. It is possible to have a stable team working 24/7 with hourly deliveries on guidelines that have been simplified. And that's now you can really reach the level where you can say that your app is really monitored. You feel secure that your brand is not threatened by some really bad conversations or bad answers from the model or anything like that, because you're checking like consistently, not once in a while. And then you iterate. Right? At any stage, something goes wrong, the alignment is not correct, or you change a little bit what you're looking for. Just keep iterating this process. So now what the best practices? So by experience, it's much better to create like a single team between the data scientist and the data team or data annotation team. If you separate them too much, middlemen slow down communication. Because data scientists and data teams don't speak the same language, it's really better to put them in the same room and figure out that you want to make sure that they are fully aligned. That when you need something to be annotated, you want to make sure that the annotators are really understanding what the data scientists want. If the more middlemen, the more project managers, the more handovers, and the less you can be sure that the data scientists get really the information they want about their data sets. Simplified guidelines. We see quite often data scientists going into very complex guidelines, and again, written by them with their words. And it's usually complicated because data annotators, they are not data scientists. So they want things, they need things, guidelines to be objective. They need to really clearly understand how should I annotate this case or that case. Do you consider this kind of answer helpful for the model or not helpful? Just provide examples. A ton of examples will go usually a longer way than very detailed guidelines that might be ambiguous, might be too subjective. And again, rely on the data companies, on the data annotators team to use your guidelines, modify them, improve them, and translate them into a language that is, again, more free of ambiguity and easier to understand for the data annotators. And finally, manage subjectivity. Many times because we are talking here about human annotation, you do that only when you are trying to answer like complex questions, complex metrics, things again like helpfulness, like harmlessness that can be subjective, culturally subjective, for example. So because this is complex, you want to be detailed, but you also want to leave some subjectivity. So what we found that works well is to initially objectivize in a way those complex metrics by dividing them into a long list of sub-metrics to make sure that the data team understand exactly what you define as harmfulness or helpfulness, those complex notions, or even compliance that might be complicated in your field. So usually it's better to objectivize, to complexify at the beginning so that the annotators really understand what you're looking for. But then once you've done that, it's actually better to again remove all those sub-labels and let the annotators manage a little bit of subjectivity. Now that they understand what you're looking for, you need to give them a little bit of room to have different opinions about the same label. And I think that will be all for me today. It's no Q&A, so thank you very much. And thank you very much, Data Science, the DSS, for inviting us.